Can we save the dollar before central banking kills it? Yes, it's surprisingly easy, and as you might expect, it involves gold. As federal deficits hit 8% of GDP, unprecedented in peacetime, and our national debt hits $35 trillion, unprecedented in the history of man, even the central bankers realize that this is not sustainable, that we are coming to the day our paper money utopia crumbles. Historically, from the Song Dynasty China to Weimar Germany, when paper money dies, we return to hard money. Because hard money is the only way to finally kill the money printer. Happily, we can actually do this without the crash. The other day, Charles Payne sent me a quote by 1970s Fed Chair Paul Volcker, who wrote, paraphrasing, quote, "It is a sobering fact that central banking has led to more inflation, not less. We did better with the 19th century gold standard, with passive central banks, with currency boards, or even with free banking. The power of a central bank, after all, is the power to create money, and ultimately the power to create is the power to destroy." Now, this is a fairly striking admission of failure from, by all accounts, the best Fed chair we have had since 1913. And a central bank is indeed an extraordinary thing. It's a privately owned, federally licensed counterfeiter the regime can use to seize literally everything in the world by printing money. It's why we have inflation recessions. It's why we have Wall Street bailouts and a colossal national debt. It is why the government has grown to dominate our economy and our lives. In contrast, under the gold standard, we had zero cumulative inflation over 124 years. We had a federal government that was 7 times smaller as a percent of GDP. In 1913, we had a national debt of 8% of GDP. Today, it is 140%, and in fact, it's rising by almost 8% per year. So how do we get back? Simple. Back the dollar with gold at today's price, call it $2,500 an ounce, and then mandate that if gold flows out of the government, the Treasury has to buy it back in before it does anything else, before it pays Ukraine, before it pays interest on the national debt. Presto, problem fixed. Why? Because if they keep printing money, it creates inflation, and gold goes to, say, $2,600 an ounce. At that point, people can make free money trading $25 for an ounce from the Fed, then reselling it for $26 on the open market. Gold flows out. Now, Treasury has to buy it in at 26. In other words, they lose money on the money printer. That means the Fed and Treasury would be forced to keep money creation low enough for 0% inflation for stable gold. This means interest rates above inflation, no more paying hedge funds to borrow money. It means no more quantitative easing to buy up rich people's assets, leaving the inflation for the poor. It means no more Wall Street bailouts, and above all, it chokes off the spending cancer of the welfare, warfare, industrial complex. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Sadly, neither the gold standard, Bitcoin standard, or full reserve banking are remotely on the bingo card in the foreseeable future, and historically, it takes a crisis to put them there. But it is important to remember how easy it is to solve our financial catastrophe if and when we get a politician brave enough to try. Read the rest with charts and all the gory details free at profsainange.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.